Now, I couldn't have been a harsher critic of the New South Wales government, and they are far from perfect. Their position on schools, to me, still remains a disgrace. But today, they started to put some serious meat on the bone. This is the sort of stuff that, to be honest, people expected at the 6 million jab mark or the 1-dose mark of 70%. But if you are double-dosed by the time the state hits 70%, this is what is about to happen. You're about to get a whole lot more freedom back. Not all of the freedom back, but a whole lot more freedom back. Here is the Premier making that announcement today.
Every state is going to have to accept that you can't live in a bubble forever. September is the month when we're asking everybody to get ready. Get vaccinated if you're an individual, and if you're a business, start dusting off your COVID safety plan. Make sure that your employees are vaccinated so that we can get back to life at 70% double dose vaccination, which we anticipate will happen somewhere around the middle of October. And that's certainly the date we're working towards. Initially, it was the end of October, but because everybody's coming forward at the rates we're seeing people come forward, that could be as early as the middle of October.
Now, again, I'm not going to pretend and I'm not going to fall for the trick of the 6 p.m. news that all of this happens tomorrow. It is 6 weeks away, and after 10 weeks lockdown, 6 weeks is a punish. But it is well and truly more than the halfway mark. I know that doesn't feel like much, but this is what will happen if you are double vaxxed at 70%.
Let me be very clear, no matter where you live in New South Wales, please expect to have much more freedom than what you do now, so long as you're vaccinated fully and so long as 70% of our residents are vaccinated, and details of that will be provided in the next little while.
But today they were openly discussed. The opportunity to get back to some retail, the opportunity to be able to go to cafes, restaurants, beer gardens, all of those things kick in place. Now, the plan to send kids back to school isn't until a few days after that mark of 70%. Again, you've heard my issues about it, but we're trying to stay positive here. Now, also important to note here is that I do think that it is important that New South Wales understands that there is an actual part of the population that can't get vaccinated. That for very legitimate, absolutely clear health reasons, not choice reasons, health reasons, they can't get vaccinated. They need to sort out a system in the next 6 weeks for people to be able to get the same freedoms who are unable to get the vaccination. And if they took it, well, there would be obvious consequences, right? Till then, it's up to the public to make its decision about whether it wants to be vaccinated or not. But there's one thing that will not be happening at the 70% mark, and we don't even know if it's going to happen at the 80% mark. You won't be able to go to each other's houses. It won't matter about whether it's 1 or 2, but you won't be able to have the grandkids over to your house. You won't be able to have the grandparents over to your house. You won't be able to have your mate over to your house. The concern there seems to be that homes are where these things spread. But of course, if everyone's vaccinated, James Morrow has some very strong opinions on that. You'll hear from him in a couple of minutes' time. Meantime, again, you've heard a lot of people on this show, on the behalf of business, and rightly so, saying, look, we hate lockdowns, but for God's sake, just give us a date. Now, the date will shift and hopefully will shift closer to the start of October. Remember, the expectations were that this could have been at the end of October. Now it's the middle of October. If the vaccination rate keeps at the race that it currently does, it could end up in early October. But assume that the middle of October is when you might get your business back.
If you're a business, start dusting off your COVID safety plan. Make sure that your employees are vaccinated so that we can get back to life at 70% double dose vaccination.
So, glass half full version is you've got a date. There will be some fair income freedoms that will come at 70%.